Key issue 1. Where is the world population distributed? The four main population clusters are East Asia, South Asia, Europe, and Southeast Asia. East Asia nearly has 1/4 of the world's population. The region bordering the Pacific Ocean includes eastern China, the islands of Japan, the Korean Peninsula, and the islands of Taiwan. South Asia has also nearly 1/4 of the world's population. It includes India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, and the islands of Sri Lanka. It includes 4 dozen countries ranging from Monaco with a population of 33,000 to Russia that has the largest land area in the world. Around 600 million people live in Southeast Asia, mostly on a series of islands that lie between the Indian and Pacific Oceans.
Key issue 2. Why is global population increasing? Population increases rapidly in places where many more people are born than die, and it declines in places where deaths outnumber births. The population of a place also decreases when people move out and increases when people move in. Geographers most frequently measure population change in a country of the world as a whole by using 3 measures. First, crude birth rate, the number of births in a year for every 1,000 people alive in society. Number 2, crude death rate, the total number of deaths in a year for every 1,000 people alive in the society. And then 3 is natural increase rate, the percentage by which a population grows in a year. It's computed by subtracting the SDR from CBR after first converting the 2 measures from numbers per 1,000 to percentages. During the 21st century, the world NIR has been 1.2, meaning that the population of the world has been increasing by 1.2%. About 82 million people are being added to the population of the world annually. The rate of natural increase affects the doubling time, which is the number of years needed to double, assuming a constant rate of natural increase. More than 95% of the natural increase is clustered in developing countries. The NIR exceeds 2% in most countries of sub-Saharan Africa, whereas it's negative in Europe, meaning that in the absence of immigrants, population actually is declining. Geographers also use the total fertility rate to measure the number of births in a society. The TFR is the average number of children a woman will have throughout her childbearing years, ages 15 through 30. As with NARs and CBRs, the countries with the highest TFRs are concentrated in Africa and Southwest Asia. A country's population structure can be displayed on a graph called a population pyramid. A population pyramid normally shows the percentage of the total population in a 5-year age groups, with the youngest group at the base, ages 0 through 4, and the oldest at the top, 85 plus years old. Thank you.
Key issue 3, why does population growth vary among regions? All countries have experienced some changes in NIR, CBR, and CDR, but at different rates and times. The demographic transition, the process of change in a society's population from crude birth rate and death rates and low rate of natural increase to a condition of low crude birth and death rates and higher total population. There are 4 stages that every country goes through. Stage 1, low growth. Very high birth and death rates produce virtually no long-term natural increase. Human history was spent in stage 1 and progressed to further stages. When food was easily obtained, a region's population increased, but it declined when people were unable to locate enough animals or vegetation nearby. Stage 2, high growth. Rapidly declining death rates and very high birth rates produce very high natural increase. So Europe and North America entered stage 2 after 1750, resulting in the Industrial Revolution. The Industrial Revolution was a conjunction of major improvements of manufacturing goods and delivering to the markets. Stage 2, high growth. Rapidly declining death rates and very high birth rates produce very high natural increase. So Europe and North America entered stage 2 after 1750, resulting in the Industrial Revolution. Results of the transformation was an unprecedented level of wealth. Stage 2 did not diffuse to Africa, Asia, and Latin America until 1950. Stage 2 was caused by the medical revolution, medical technology invented in Europe and North America. Okay, you can cut that. What? What's wrong? Stage 3, decreasing growth. Birth rates rapidly decline, death rates continue to decline, and natural increase rates begin to moderate. The CDR continues to fall from stage 2 to stage 3 because of the gap between the CBR and the CDR narrows. The society moves into stage 3 when people have fewer children, declining the mortality rate. Economic changes in the stage 3, people are more likely to live in cities than countrysides. Europe and North America include the United States moved to stage 3 the first half of the 20th century, and in the second half of the 20th century, Asia and Latin America, including Chile, moved into stage 3. Stage 4, low growth. Very low birth and death rates produce virtually no long-term natural increase and possibly a decrease. A country reaches stage 4 when the CBR declines to the point where it equals to the CDR, or when the CBR is slightly closer or higher to the CBR. ZPG might also occur when CBR is slightly higher, and Denmark, an example, like most other European countries, has reached stage 4.
One of the first to argue that the world's rate of population increase was far outrunning the development of food supplies. Japan is an example of a country that faces prospect of population decline in the future from 127 million in 2010 to 95 million in 2050. This will cause a dramatic shift in the country's population structure. Instead of a high percentage of children, they will have a high percentage of elderly people. Population futures. The Population Reference Bureau forecasts that the world population will increase from 7 billion in 2011 to 9.5 billion in 2050. Future population depends primarily on fertility. China and India, the two most populous countries, influence the future prospects for global overpopulation. India adds 12 million more people. India could surpass China as the world's most populous country in 2030.
Well, as to do with life expectancy, babies born in Europe are expected to live up to 80, while in sub-Saharan Africa, it's around 60. The second part of Key Issue 4 focuses on healthcare. Indicators of health. There are two main indicators of health, and that is your infant mortality rate and your life expectancy, mainly infant mortality rate. Infant mortality rate is basically the annual number of deaths of infants under the age of 1, compared to the total live number of births. Life expectancy is the average amount of years someone is expected to live. Okay, right there, please. Provision of health care. Even if children do live through infancy, there's still a chance that they don't get the right shots and immunizations to help them survive. For example, more than 1/4 of children lack measles immunizations in Southern Africa and Southern Asia and Sub-Saharan Africa. Developed countries use some of the money that they make to help to provide for people who can't earn it, or who can, where it just need it. So they can help people like veterans, unemployed people, single parents, orphans, and any of those. In most developed countries, healthcare is a public service from little to low cost. The government usually pays for around 70% of your healthcare in more developed countries, and the owner pays for the rest of the 30%. Compared to less developed countries, to where the owner will pay more than 50%. Okay. As you'd expect, more developed countries are going to tend to have more hospitals, medicine, and other things to help their people out when it comes to being sick or having different viruses or diseases. Less developed countries have less of a chance of survival there because of how poor they are. They're not going to have any tools and physicians also to help with these diseases.
Stage 1, pestilence and famine, very high crude death rate. An example would be the Black Plague, which killed 25 million. Almost half the European died in the early 1300s. And in China, it also hit China in the late 1300s. Stage 2, receding pandemics, rapidly declining crude death rate. A pandemic is a disease occurring from a wide geographic area, affecting a very high percentage of the population. Stage 3, degenerative diseases, and in this stage you're starting to see countries more developed with more advanced medical technology. Stage 4, delayed degenerative diseases. In this stage, infections or Stage 4, delayed degenerative diseases. In this stage, diseases like cancer will have little to no effect on you thanks to medical technology and better advancement in medicine. There are better treatments for you to live longer, and most people do not die, and the crude death rate is low.